we were here on the scene when a person was taken to the hospital by ambulance. We're very excited to say WCBI TV will be hosting North Mississippi's only live gubernatorial debate. Attorney General Jim Hood and Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves, they'll be right here in our studio. As you can imagine, it was quite the emotional scene out here at the Brookville Garden Apartments earlier this evening. A lot different setting right now, but here's what we know so far. Starkville police tell us that when they got to the scene here at the Brookville Garden Apartments, that an African-American male was found dead. As you said, Mayor Howard faces 5 embezzlement charges. He told us last night in an interview that he's stunned at the charges brought against him. Air Force One is expected to land here any moment at the Tupelo Regional Airport, which is where we're at right now. We're told the president is running about 30 to 45 minutes behind schedule. Breaking news out of Aberdeen. The city mayor finds himself in hot water after the state auditor's office confirms he was arrested today. Our Quentin Smith joins us live from outside the Monroe County Jail. Quentin, do we know what charges loom over the mayor? The Mississippi State Penitentiary at Parchman, Governor Bryant says houses 3,500 inmates. Many of those, he says, are behind bars for violent offenses. The problem, there's not enough correctional officers to keep things at bay.
I've been in correctional facilities. I've worked in jails. It is not easy under the best of circumstances. There's not a state in America that won't tell you that they need more correctional officers, that they need more prisons.
The riots happening inside the state's prisons, Bryant says, are gang-related. He points out that gangs have been a threat and continue to be a threat on the streets and behind bars.
The inmates are the ones that take each other's lives. The inmates are the one that fashion weapons out of metal. The inmates are the one that do the damage to the very rooms that they are living in there.
In the capital city alone in 2019, there were nearly 80 murders that Governor Bryant says were drug or gang related.
Gangs are a real threat. Not only do we need more support within the Department of Corrections, but law enforcement needs all our support to be able to stop the gang activity that's going on each and every day on the Capitol streets and in our prisons.
Bryant says changes must happen in the prison system. He says it starts with criminal justice reform and getting nonviolent offenders out. Governor-elect Tate Reeves agrees and says there's a lot of work to do.
We've got a lot of challenges in the department. We've got a lot of work to do in that department. I'm committed to make sure that we get those things done to ensure both the safety of those within the prison system, but also to ensure public safety of all Mississippians.
The escalating crime problem continues, and we're managing it, I think, as well as we can under the current circumstances.
Just about a mile up the road here, that's where the brunt of the tornado damage is. Sheriff Todd Hall took the media on a brief tour to get a look at some of that damage, and what you're about to see is it's just absolutely devastating. Chaos. That's how Larry Jones describes the moments after the twister.
Houses missing, people missing.
Jones immediately began to check on his neighbors. Tragically, not all of them survived the storm.
Some were devastated and some was not alive.
Pickens County Sheriff Todd Hall says the homes where the 3 people lost their lives were unrecognizable.
I was out there and I saw the structure. I can't tell you. I don't know what kind of structure it started out as. You know, there was one foundation that was completely devastated, and then the other one also. You couldn't tell what it started out as.
What were once homes in the small community of Settlement are now rubble. The damage and lives lost, Sheriff Hall says, will leave a hole in the heart of Pickens County.
Anytime you have a loss of life, it's a very devastating thing for all people, you know, across our whole community. And like I said, this community here was very vital to Pickens County, and it's going to be a huge loss.
Dozens of volunteers spent Saturday trying to find what could be saved, but the help will be needed in the days to come.
Today, everybody's going to be out reaching out and doing everything they can, but tomorrow is going to be a different day. And these people are going to need long-term care and long-term resources. So we're reaching out to some of the resources at this time.
Jones is thankful his family is safe. However, it's a day that now leaves a lasting mark.
Scared.
98-year-old veteran Bill White is on one of the most important missions of his life. White spends his days knitting caps, lots of caps.
I don't know. I expect maybe 100, 200 more.
He picked up the craft a few years back when his great-grandson spent over half a year in the neonatal intensive care unit. Reed was born at just 26 weeks.
He's been in there so long, and I just wanted to do something for him.
This is his great-grandson now, 4 years old, who we're told is a papa's boy.
It means a lot to me. I'd like to see him today.
Not only does Papa White make little hats, he makes hats for all sizes. His daughter, Glenda Nadu, taught her dad how to knit. It started with a Christmas gift and a YouTube tutorial. Now he doesn't stop.
He finally got the hang of it, and then he started, and it was like he was on production. We couldn't keep yarn here long enough for him to make caps.
Papa White's a man of few words, but he still loves people and loves giving. If you ever get to meet him, guess what?
If you come through the door here at the house, you're going to get a cap when you leave, whether you want it or not.
It's a hobby for him and his wife, Irvie, who helps keep Papa White in line, you might say.
She'll ball his yarn, roll his yarn up in little balls for him, because you have to take 2 strands of yarn. And so she'll roll those. She'll get down on the floor and roll those up for him and give those to him where he can not get his yarn tangled up, which is real important.
Every knot stitched is made with love. It's a small gift that makes a big impact on both sides.
I just enjoy making them and just giving them away for people that want them,